Okay, first question. What attracted you to the role of Jude?
Big question, really. So many things in that, obviously it wasn't just the role of Jude, it was the role of Jude in a Star Wars series and the opportunity to work with all these incredible directors and see behind the curtain of this universe. So, to go right back, being 7 or 8 and seeing the first Star Wars film in the cinema was a very, not just a, it was a formative memory of what film was and the impact film had on me as a child, as for so many. And, no one had ever seen anything like it.
Please describe your character. You each can take it.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Anyone,
yeah,
just
go
start
on.
whoever.
My character is a very loyal best friend. He is the think twice of the group kind of guy. I think he is a very scared person. I think he does not want to be there, but he also doesn't want to disappoint his friends. And I just think he is just there for everybody too. If they're in, if they're sad, if they're happy, whatever.
Inspired your vision.
So how do we come up with the idea for Skeleton Crew and what inspired it? I think the inspiration for me is the feeling of being a 10-year-old kid and wandering off into a field and hoping that you're gonna stumble across some sort of adventure. And, the movies that we grew up with, you'd find a buried pirate's treasure or you get abducted by aliens or something like that. That's what I always hoped would happen to me. And to turn that into a show where a group of kids are all sort of longing for adventure and end up sucked into the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah, and then that adventure leads to an actual adventure, which is
Yeah.
really scary and dangerous, and they're in way over their heads.
Yeah. So being a bored 10-year-old kid, I think, is the...
And getting in trouble.
Getting in trouble.
And so that informed the next sort of 8 years of my life as a kid, playing, interacting, imagining. So it had a huge impact and sat in a really special place in my heart, again, as with so many people. So being approached to be in the world, I was, as I said, I was really intrigued to see how this universe is made, how this aesthetic is achieved, and getting round to it, there's this amazing role.
Wim to me is such Wim to me is such a dreamer, and I admire his imagination and dedication. His imagination is so strong because he doesn't have a mom and his dad is constantly working, so he's left to make his own fun. And I think that's something so special, and he acknowledges that this test is really stressing him out, and he acknowledges that Neil doesn't want to, he doesn't want to fail so that he wouldn't have to, suffer, so that Neil wouldn't have to suffer because of him. And he acknowledges that, and he's just really stressed, and that's what motivates him to want to go off-world in a way, because the pressure, it's just the build-up, it's getting too much, and it's a lot for him.
When does the story take place in the Star Wars timeline, and was there a particular reason for setting the story in that time period?
Yeah, the show takes place in the time period just after Return of the Jedi, when the New Republic is trying to establish, a better galaxy for everyone, but it's not easy. And we've seen that in other shows like Mandalorian and Ahsoka, and we just felt that for our show, with the kids being lost in the galaxy, it would be a great time because there's not necessarily a big powerful force to save them. Whether it's the Old Republic or even the Empire, they get lost, and that's why we run into pirates. So it's kind of like a lawless time.
The role, I was so excited by the opportunity to play someone so mysterious and kind of all things to all people. So it looked like just so much potential. And that's always, very attractive. And I loved the concept. I loved the idea, the simple idea of returning, for me, to that boy who saw the film the first time, but making them the protagonists, putting their eyes of awe and innocence and fear, to see them seeing this world. I just thought it was simple and just such a clever idea.
play Fern. Fern's really outgoing and bold, and she's not afraid to say what she thinks is right. She likes speeder bikes. To me, she's like kind of like a Han Solo of the group. She's not afraid to fight, and she kind of has like a sense of humor that I love, but she loves speeder bikes, and I love ATVs, and we definitely share that. It was definitely fun doing that, like racing on them. But yeah, that's Fern.
I play KB, and KB is like more quiet and on the introverted side. She's very thoughtful and resourceful, and she has like special powers because of like her augs and her visor, which come in handy with the group. But when I was playing and figuring out my role, I was like figuring out a combo between how robotic and like cyborg-like I should be, and I actually had like a talk with John, and he gave me the creative freedom to kind of make the character my own and kind of create it, and yeah, it was really amazing how just everyone gave you the freedom to just work.
Yeah, it's kind of a lawless, chaotic time, which is a very dramatic time for a group of kids to get stranded.
Yeah, and then we were also working with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni really closely, and they had already done so much great work in developing that time period, and still are. So it was really
It made
awesome.
sense for us to just slot in there with them as well.
Will we see new parts of the galaxy throughout the span of the series? Any new creatures or droids?
Will we see more parts of the galaxy and creatures and droids? Yes, many. We go to lots of different planets, spaceports.
Yeah, it's a lot of, it's basically all new.
Lots of creatures, lots of droids. Yeah, we only go to new places, I think. Yeah, we only go to new places. So yes, the answer is yes.
So you would say you are a fan of Star
Oh,
Wars?
sure.
Yeah. In general terms, tell us a little about Jude and how he fits in the story.
So the young ones meet Jude having blasted off from their home planet, and are really looking for anyone who will, give them some sense of hope of returning. And he offers his services. Now, some of the team, some of the gang are a little skeptical. Some are just wide-eyed in wonder, believing that he's, good, in fact, that he's a Jedi. And he sees some kind of angle with them. I think he sees some opportunity there of, getting something out of it. I think he's someone who lives day by day by day. And slowly you realize he actually is on the run from certain people and maybe owes things to other people. And that's not to say he's bad, but he's complicated. And he's the kid's guide, but he learns from them just as much as they learn from him.
What did you like best about your characters and why?
I feel like I'm starting too much.
You can
I just think he's, I know this is gonna sound weird, but like, I just think he's really cute, and I just kind of like that about him. And I just think he's kind of just like, he's a diva, okay? He's a diva. And I just think he shows up and he does his thing and then he leaves.
Oh yeah.
Attitude, walk off. Exactly. Anyway.
Go for it. Okay, thank you. What I love about my character, she's very cool. And to prepare for the role, I actually did like a lot of running and like exercise and different archery, parkour.
You get a flex.
Love it. Do you have to be a Star Wars fan or have any knowledge of the galaxy to enjoy the show? Or what do you feel what makes it relatable?
Do you have to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy the show? I think no, and that's part of the story that we're telling is this is a group of kids that don't necessarily realize what kind of a big universe they're a part of. And it's only as they get lost and try to find their way home that they sort of experience the Star Wars galaxy for the first time. So in the same way.
Yeah, but if you are a big fan, there's lots there for you to pick up on, and you'll be kind of ahead of the kids, understanding better than they do what's going on. Kind of in that way where, in a movie you're saying to the characters, like, don't go in that room because you know the danger.
Yeah, but you don't have to do any homework if you don't want to before you watch the show.
And I think what's key to it is also that he doesn't see them as kids. I don't think he doesn't really understand what kids are. He doesn't understand innocence because I don't know that he had it in his own life. So to him, they're small adults, and it makes the relationship both sort of honest and also I keep coming back to the word complicated, but honest, but also tough.
It's okay, guys. I'm sorry, but that's what I love about her. I like that she's really cool, and she might not like always vocalize her opinion, but she gets things done, which I love about her.
What's something I find really admirable about Fern is like she really cares about the people that she fights for, and she'll fight for them. And what I kind of took from her was kind of her confidence, and even in real life, like I definitely it was kind of like a lesson to me, and I definitely take that. And like now, it's just like she's helped me a lot in life.
Tell us about casting Jude Law and what he brings to the character of Jude.
Casting Jude Law was so easy. He was perfect. He's who we always imagined.
It was easy.
Yeah,
it was easy for us.
He feels we've been saying it's this funny thing where he feels like he's kind of always been in Star Wars, and we've just brought him back. Like he just captures this like roguish charm that fits perfectly within the universe, and also fits in perfectly with these 4 10-year-old kids. Like in a way, he feels like just a grown-up member of the skeleton crew as well.
You touched on this. Tell us what it was like to work with the different episode directors: John Watts, David Lowery, the Daniels, Jake, Bryce, and Lee Isaac Chung. What made it a unique experience for you?
Unique, of course, because I'd never worked with a group of directors over a period of time like that, so in such quick succession. I'd never had that experience. Unique because, all of them incredibly talented and clear and experienced, and yet all coming into this world, bringing their own, tonally their own detail and perspective.
I love how Wim represents the hero's journey archetype, so to speak, and I love his character arc throughout the show. It's been so fun to play around with, because from point A to point B, it's such a drastic change, and I love playing around with that for my characters and any character that I play. I love the initial preparation process when I first received the material. I find things that seem familiar, and really just the preparation process was really fun for me, discovering all of Wim's qualities. I love how adventurous he is, and how this adventure really changes him, and because he thought that the galaxy was all fighting, lightsabers, coolness, fun, but then he gets a quick reality check and he realizes it's not all that, all that he thought it was, and it changes him.
It's okay. Tell us about working with Jude Law and what you like most about working with him. What did the search for the 4 young actors entail? How did you know when you found the perfect one to play the character you had written?
It involved, so how do we find the 4 kids? It involved a lot of watching of tapes, and we had this idea of 4 characters in our head, these sort of archetypal kids, and the thing that was challenging for us is that we had to sort of wait till someone came in who embodied the character that we were imagining, because so many of the kids that came in were great and were great actors, but it's this different kind of patience where someone could be good and could do a good job, but they weren't quite the essence of the character that we wanted.
Just bring different energies to a set, they run them in different ways, and their personality and their energy sort of affects the mood of the set. So it's always interesting, having a new energy and a new leader, really, affecting the set in that way. And can I just say, with that question, what a group of directors. When it wasn't also a case of, I get to work with a series in quick succession on a Star Wars show. It was also each of these directors brought something so extraordinary, and they're so talented that it was also a lesson every time. Like, okay, oh, this is how they do it. This is how she does it. This is how he does it. You know, just intriguing.
Moment for us, like he's so like grounding, and like when I would have a scene with him, like it made me like act better, because he gives so much to you to work off of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree. He's such a generous scene partner. Yeah, he's giving, he's grounded, he's constantly focused, which helps other people focus. And you know, he not only is he such a nice guy, but he's so experienced, which makes for some really fun scenes with him. Playing working alongside him is a lot of fun, and I would love to work with him again.
He's really motivating because he's such a good actor, and he's very giving. Like when I was doing a scene with him for the first time, it was amazing, and I was fangirling, and it was really a great experience to work with such a great actor.
Yeah.
So you just sort of have to be patient and hope that, you know, eventually that character is going to walk through the door. And the kids that we ended up casting brought so much more to the characters than what we thought, and we actually wrote to them once they were cast, tweaked things to match who they were as people, so that it could sort of evolve and grow over time.
Tell us about the production design and how it conveys the kids' journey.
Ooh.
I mean, I just did the casting one.
Yeah, I mean, the production design of the show it has to be at this, the bar is incredibly high because it's Star Wars. It has to both feel like Star Wars and just be really, really good. Like, that's kind of what the Star Wars thing is excellence.
Yeah.
And we just had an amazing team. I mean, from Oliver Scholl to Doug Chang and all the people in the Lucas film team. And then you get to include an X-wing, but then we had to create a new pirate ship and create these lands, and just being able to work with the caliber of artists that we got to work with was such a treat and a gift.
Skeleton Crew has been called a universal adventure. How would you describe the tone of the story? Did any of the theme resonate with you as you were making the episodes?
A universal adventure is right. How would I describe the tone? Did you say the tone?
The tone.
Yeah.
Yes, the tone of the story and the theme resonate with you as you were making it.
I think the tone is captured when you think of this idea of a child, an innocent child, looking at this universe that the fans know so much about. It's exciting, it's thrilling. You know, it has a sense of awe and wonderment, but it's also got jeopardy.
I mean, I have always seen his like stuff before, and you know, I just remember like seeing him and be like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then when you're like really there and he's doing it in front of you, you're like, wow, this is like hardcore. You know, like it was really kind of like, whoa, like, and he's really just kind of brilliant. It really kind of amazed me, and it truly made me a better actor. And I think he was just kind of a mentor a little bit too, because I remember there was even a day where I was like, you know, we were talking about like something with like ladies and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, you have to have the good looks. And he was like, yeah, but you also have to have charm. And I just remember taking that note. All right, well, I was thinking.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Jude. Thank you.
Yeah, because the team that we're working with is so good, there's never a question about the quality being there. For us, it's about distilling it down to the story that we're telling and making sure that the things that we build and the worlds that we design are telling the right part of the story and shape the evolution of the kids, you know, getting to understand the galaxy that they're a part of.
And risk. And the risk is real, you know. And so all of that comes to play. And then because it's through the eyes of children, it's also got a sense of playfulness and joy, which I think is really refreshing. Quite honestly, the theme that I've just described, like I said, I was so moved by this concept. I thought it was such a simple, strong concept. And it was something that drew me to the cinema as a kid, and something I still feel as an adult, really, when I go to the movies. You see something good in the movies, it can move you, and at times take you back to the child inside you. And so I think seeing that in the crew and the cast really affected me.
Tell us about the sets. What was your favorite one and why?
Our ship was really, really cool. I remember the first
Definitely.
day that we went there and like everything you could actually interact with, like all the
so
buttons.
practical, yeah.
Like were practical,
Yeah.
like they were real and like levers.
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest sets I've ever seen, and like the volume, all the sets were real and huge too, I might add.
I would have to agree with that. The ship was so cool, and like oh my gosh, the buttons were so much fun to press.
We're like,
It was so practical, and the sets were so unique. All of the different sets were so much fun. The practical sets, the non-practical sets, they're all so different, and I'd never really done anything like this, so it was so exciting and so surreal.
Last question. What do you hope viewers to experience when they watch Skeleton Crew?
I hope that people who have seen a lot of Star Wars are reminded of the first time that they got to see Star Wars. Because you get to witness these kids experiencing it all for the first time. And then for people who are seeing it for the first time,
Yeah, we just want the show to be fun, exciting adventure, but like the original Star Wars movies, all that adventure and stuff, there's a little bit of kind of hopefully kind of deep meaning in there, just about our actual lives. That's kind of keeps it from being just kind of shallow fun, and it actually kind of feels meaningful.
Thank you both.
Exciting.
Neil. No, I'm just kidding. Fun.
Fun.
Yes.
And why would you say that about it?
I would just say because it's an adventure and it's fun and it's just, you have a great time watching it too. So I think it's just fun in that way.
It's a journey for you.
Yeah.
As well as it's a journey for the character, it's also a journey for you. You're going on this
As an
journey
audience.
with them. Yeah, exactly. And you're kind of viewing it through through the children's eyes, and that's what's so special, because children leading a Star Wars series or anything Star Wars related is so cool, because we haven't really seen that too much, and children bring a certain like wide-eyed wonder to the galaxy that I feel like adults may not always, and that's what was so special. It was really fun.
We had a great stunt team and action
really did.
sequences, so
Yeah. The action scenes are really fun too.
Definitely.
I say exciting because I feel like there's always something happening. Like you never get bored because
Yeah.
there's always something happening.
And then my last question. What do you hope viewers experience when they watch Skeleton Crew?
I hope that old fans really are touched by the sense of wonderment and magic that we all felt when we maybe first encountered Star Wars. I hope the new young fans are as excited and invited into this world that has impressed and just inspired me for so many years, 40-something years. And I hope they find it thrilling. I think there's wonderful thrilling energy to it.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
That was awesome.
I wish we could have done ASMR.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
That would have been so
The
satisfying.
ship was it was really cool because it was all life-sized, and it actually went all the way around all the different rooms, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Last question. If you could describe Skeleton Crew in one word, what would it be and why?
Either adventure or journey, but I'm gonna go with journey here.
I'm gonna go with action-packed.